Yes. We did it again, y'all. Back again. And you know what the John down here says. Say it along with me. Well, hello. And welcome back to the JNN, Jamar Nicholas Network. My messy studio. You don't need to see that. And coffee break with JN. Let's get comfortable. Who's in the building? Sound off. Who do I see? Reynaldo. What's up, my man? I see. Notorious. JRD in the building. Well, hello. Who else do I see? Yo, it may almost be September, but it's always July when my man Julian's in the building. Well, hello. Oren, hello. Good to see you. Welcome to Coffee Break with JN. Brad Shree, thank you. Well, howdy, hey. Caitlin, how are you? Good to see you. Mama Carla in the building, the matron saint of Coffee Break with JN. Well, hello. Who I miss? Yo, did I get my man LJW? I see you in the building, Al Jamal holding it down. How are you, sir? I think we should start off with who else just showed up? Yo, Fletch, what's up? Dakota, look at everybody signing in. It's like everybody's home for spring break. You show up back at home with a probably like some freeloading roommate of yours, a bag full of dirty laundry, and probably a STI. Welcome home. We missed you. I'm not saying you had an STI. I'm just saying, college is starting. It's a thing. Let me get my stuff together here. More like Thanksgiving Eve. I don't know, Ronaldo, if you've heard that I have a not a theory, but back at the college with my student employees, I would try to give them some life advice, some real rap, as you've heard me say in the past. Well, I got to put the graphic up. Some, as you would call it. I got too many things over here. I can't find it. I'm losing it. Real rap, 360-degree waves. And I would say things like, hey, you know what? If you're going home for Thanksgiving, can you help out a little bit? And if you were from that time period where when you came home from school, if you went to college and came home, oh, well, they tell me to stay out of the way because they got it. I was like, you probably are a screw up and they don't want you in the way. If all you do is come in, throw your stuff down, and go sleep for 17 hours, and to come down and eat in sweats, I don't know if I'm really happy to see you. Like you just came home for food and now you're leaving. Like we miss you. Tell us about what's going on. Get in here and learn how to make this pie like Nana. Like Nana makes. So maybe we'll start there, guys. I know this isn't really the holidays yet, and I'm not trying to advance the timeline, but tell me about if you have any holiday traditions, and I'll give it something broad, like, the Labor Day, well, maybe not holiday, just traditions, like the Labor Day before everybody goes back to school, we all go to the lake house and we all cry, and then we drink too much and then we start our year. Or every October we have a bonfire and the neighbors go missing. Let's hear some of that. JRD says, I always offer to help 3 times. After that, I stay out of the way. So is this like now or is this back in the day? This light is too harsh. Because, JRD be chefing it up. So I'm pretty sure they want you to be in the kitchen. Or is this when you were a young JRD? Ronaldo says, true. Thanksgiving Eve was always party night with old friends. Thanksgiving Day for family in my group. Was there a football game or something like that? Where, Uncle Ricky hits a little too hard and like, bro, ease up. Yo, I'm trying to toughen the boy up. He needs to know how to get a CTE. Jared D says, because of my childhood, you know, JM. Holidays are just days off. True. Alinda has tradition, so I follow her. I feel you. Dakota says, I offer to help, but I'm not allowed to help because I'm very clumsy. Oh, people can handle one chopped off fingertip. Was did you chop off your tip? Pause. Oh no. I kind of need to hear this story now. Sip of coffee for chopped off tips. Well, I don't feel that pain, but I understand. Uh, Caitlin says, food, always way too much food at holiday gatherings. And if you aren't physically seen eating enough, then the older ladies give you the fifth degree trying to figure out what is wrong with you. Oh, wow. They come around and try to touch you and you know, mess with your arm. Like, oh, your skin and bones, or oh, are you sick? How come you're not hungry? Yeah, I feel that. Kind of like that's I guess it would be kind of like eating food pressure, not peer pressure, but like plate pressure, right? Which that I cannot get this to go right. It's not the same as um, eating sweats. Ronaldo says, new tradition for us is traditional food for Christmas Eve, turkey, potatoes, etc. And now Puerto Rican food for Christmas Day. I do all the cooking. Yeah, Ronaldo, be chefing it. I love these. Pause. I love people chefing it up because to be a caffeine in good standing, you have to either make or consume good food. Ronaldo says, starting with COVID 3 years ago when my wife got sick just before the holiday. Yeah. Yo, this is going to turn into like who cut off their fingers. I didn't know this is what we're doing tonight, guys. JRD says, E sliced off the tip of her finger the very first time using a mandolin. Ooh, now they're not allowed in the house. Those are. You ready for it? That could get dicey. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Tip your servers. Nakota says, I was trying to cut up strawberries for a shortcake and we have very sharp knives. It actually took a second to register there was blood everywhere. Like it happened so fast. You're kind of just like, wait, what happened? And it's just like, no, I feel you on that. That's rough. Caitlin says, oh yeah, it's like one way my family shows the Italian heritage. You'll skin and bones. Yeah, some of my Italian buddies, um, if I haven't been supping with them, I've had meals over their houses. There's a lot of food pressure. Like, I've been in situations where you have to go home for Sunday dinner. Like Sunday dinners, that's a real thing. And like, what do you mean you're not coming to Sunday dinner? You might get disowned if you don't come to Sunday dinner. Brad, what up, Brad Tree? Brad Tree says my traditions are often around watching or consuming media. Doctor Who Christmas specials, Alice's Restaurant at Thanksgiving, SNL Christmas specials. I'd like to retire the WKRP turkey turkey report. I always thought that wasn't as funny as everybody thought it was, but we're dating ourselves here, aren't we? Um, I just lost the screen. Sorry, you guys. Oh yeah, I think that's a good thing because I know it's changed now that with TV specials, like everybody just has the DVD or it's just put the Grinch on Netflix and it doesn't feel the same. Brad agrees. As God is my witness, I am tired of the flying turkey. Yeah, and it's like that's a great showing your age reference. I've seen people that have like the WKRP turkey flight. I forget the whole joke. I forget how it goes. Dakota says it happened so fast, and the cut was so clean. It took everything a second to sink in, but we were able to get it back on with some really good person glue. Wow, that's good you had that around. Ronaldo says Star Wars Holiday Special is a must now. Terrible, but part of the holiday rotation. I love it. Uh, Caitlin also says, "Oh, but the stop motion holiday specials are my favorite." What's your favorite s- stop motion? I guess Rankin Bass holiday. That's not fair because some people like the cartoon joints, and other people like the Rankin Bass. I think the A Year Without a Santa Claus is my favorite because isn't that the one with Heat and Snow Miser? And then and probably Rudolph after that. JRD says WKRP Thanksgiving episode is funny, but yeah, not as funny as everyone talks about. Nostalgia adds a lot. My wife wants to watch it every Thanksgiving, so I put on the Peanuts Thanksgiving special after it. The California raisins are a huge favorite in this house. Frosty, yes, I love it. I love when we share, you guys. Um, yeah, I don't really have a strong recollection of that. I do remember there was a holiday special, but yeah, you remember. Let's go into our Gen X capsule and submerge into our memory. One of my favorite things, like on CBS or whatever, is when the screen would be black and then like that special do 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 special presentation. You knew either it was going to be well. I guess you could look at the TV guide and figure it out what it was, but a lot of times you just weren't sure. And it could be a very special, like a Rankin Bass feature, or maybe a very special episodes of Family Ties, where Tom Hanks guest stars as Uncle Ned, the family alcoholic. Hey Jade, how are you? WKRP Thanksgiving is you see what I mean? It hits a special note for people. Let's give a sipper. My first sip of the night. Jane, you're going to enjoy this. Guys, get your sippers up. Man, I can't find. I gotta redo this, you guys. I got too many things. Let's give a sip of coffee for my buddy Jane. Hope you're having fun. Thanks for joining us. Um, let's see what else. Nakota and Ronaldo are like in a typing contest. Nakota says we live so far in the boonies we can't even get satellite TV, let alone network. So we have to put together our own holiday specials. I've thought a lot about and I think my man Sean Galloway, Cheeks in these streets. Uh, Sean's a fantastic illustrator and designer. And JRD, isn't this right? I think Cheeks did the character designs for Spectacular Spider-Man, that cartoon, where Peter Parker's got the little like mole on his face. That's my man Cheeks. I love it. Um, I think he may have stuff set up so you could like watch um, like a Saturday morning cartoon block. And I've thought about trying to like curate my own thing. Like, what if you just kind of cobble together videos or MP4 files or whatever of a month of Saturday mornings? So, like, from I guess it would be like 4 and a half hours of programming. Um, I think that would be cool. So now I keep switching subjects because we were talking about holiday stuff. Now I want to talk about after school television. Like I want to ask if you had a 2 hour block, what four cartoons would you put in it for after school? I guess we're talking about 80s stuff, 80s and maybe you know what? I don't even want to say 90s. I think by the aughts, that was kind of done for. It's not even like the takeover of Cartoon Network. It was kind of like the death of children's programming. I think that was like the end of Fox Kids or Fox Box or pause or whatever they called it, where I'm all over the place, you guys. I think something that was very sinister that happened is if you paid attention, they started making more live action sitcoms for kids. I guess like tweens and like young adults. And I think that was to kind of push kids into wanting to watch that kind of programming when they get older. So, like, I know a lot of kids, I guess it's a millennial thing. A lot of kids grew up with like the sweet life of Zach and Cody, or That's So Raven, or not even like Saved by the Bell was like, I think that was like the test kitchen for this stuff, or the Olsen twins. So if you if you would have put in one of those live action things just to kind of like end your programming day, that's fine. But yeah, let's get your four. I think this would be fun. Thanks, Dakota. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, and Caitlin mentioned parades. Let's get back to that. And while people are cooking up their answers for your coffee break block, the action pack. Ronaldo says, when I was growing up, we would rent a color TV for December so we could watch the specials, and we would get the TV guide so we knew. Oh man, we had to talk about the TV guide. Remind me if we forget that. And Caitlin says, anyone else have traditions of watching parades? All right, let's put that in our pockets. So Brad says, Batman 66 is my go-to after school. Yes. All right. Jane comes in with Speed Racer. Speed Racer would not work now. If I think we've kind of forget how violent those cartoons. Speed Racer would like murder like 40 or 50 people in the span of an episode. But I like Speed Racer. That's a good pick. El Jamal says his 2 hour programming block would be He-Man, then Thundercats, then G.I. Joe and Transformers, all the toy commercials. I'm not moving. You better pee before He-Man. So that would be not pee, not like pee in front of He-Man. You know what I mean. I might have to pause myself. I like that. That was a good one. All right, who else? Who else wants to share? Yo, what up, Steve Conley? Yo, Steve Conley says, top of my head, Thundar the Barbarians, Herculoids, Super Friends, and Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends. That's a hot block. And you guys, let's give a sip of coffee for my man Stone Cold Steve Conley. I'm gonna make that stick, Steve. I don't think you like Stone Cold Steve Conley. When I say it, you kind of make a face. Or I can just call you middle-aged Steve Conley. They all work just the same. But a sip of coffee for the birthday boy, my man Steve Conley. It's his birthday today. Thank you for coming and blessing us with your presence on Coffee Break. Steve is our new co-host on Pencil to Pencil. Does an amazing job, and also I can't stay away from his Twitch. That Steve is on Twitch heavy, doing 3D sculpts and kind of hyping up his stuff. He has another Kickstarter that's running right now. Go support Steve Conley for his birthday. Look at that. Look at all that love in the room. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy Earth Day, King Steve. Mama Carla always gives love. I love it. Yeah, look at that. That's the power of Coffee Break with JN. Being affiliated with the JNN, the JNN, the Jamar Nicholas Network. All your dreams come true. Nothing is impossible. You know the routine. All right, let's get back to these. So we start with Steve had a really strong uh, action pack. Dakota, what do we got? Dakota's going to go with. We'd have to do Tailspin. Oh, nice. Tailspin and Gargoyles. That's nice. And then OG TMNT. Those, hey, buy our toys programming shows would need to be on rotation. Hold on, you need one more. So that was three. I need one more. Unless you do like a back to back one of those. Notorious JRD says Transformers, Okay, Tom and Jerry. Oh, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and Star Blazers. In that order? That's that's interesting. I think, coming off of the high of Transformers and then going into Tom and Jerry, that's a rough cut, but I like I like your energy. Caitlin's going into the 90s a little bit. Courage the Cowardly Dog, Recess. Yo, I got to give a sip of coffee for Recess. I'm gonna be out of coffee. I keep sipping. Um, if somehow you avoided Joe and Paul's Disney masterpiece Recess, you need to go find that. And I believe they never released that, right? So I knew a couple people had like the bootleg DVD of Recess. It's such a great show. Sip of coffee for Recess. Uh, hold on, I think I lost you. What did you say? Oh, I see Dungeons and Dragons. All right. No, Caitlin said Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was a little after me. I know about it, but I never watched it. Recess, Scooby Doo, and Real Monsters. Which Scooby Doo? There's been so much Scooby Doo. It's classic Scooby Doo, like Scooby Doo Mysteries. That's the one where they had the special guest, a special guest star, Don Knotts. Um, Fletch, you dirty gum hustler. Yo, everybody, all you dirty gum hustlers in the building, you know about Fletch. You dirty gum hustler. It's different. Uh, Fletch says, I keep like clicking off of this stuff. Oh, Jane, you came through with Thunderbirds. All right, I'm going to give you your spotlight here. Fletch says, four cartoons, Dungeons and Dragons, and I am Dungeon Master, your guide through the realm of Dungeons and Dragons. Thundar, nice. That's a nice. Ooh, Herculoids and Voltron, lions, not cars. You're canceled. We're strictly cars up in Coffee Break. No, I like the Netflix redo. That stuff was pretty good. I didn't finish it. I think I got to the end of the first season. I was like, I enjoyed that. I don't need to watch anymore, but I enjoyed it. I like that's a nice like fantasy plot. D&D, then Thundar, then Herculoids, and then you take it to space with Voltron. That's nice. Jared D says, I'm with Brad. My local after school hours, Batman 66 and Tom and Jerry. Okay. All right. Brad says, Super Friends, Space Ghost, Thundercats fills up the cartoon block. I like it. Thundercat. Ooh, Space Ghost and Thundercats? Nice. Ronaldo says Spider-Man live action show. I just started watching some of those on Plex. They're just as bad as I remember. They're actually worse. And I wish they would have given Peter Hammond like a, I don't know, like a nod in the new Spider-Man movies. All right, Mama Carla says Speed Racer. All right, Power Rangers, Scooby Doo and the Jetsons. I like that. Jane says Thunderbirds are go. FAB. Five, four, three, two, one. Yo, can I just say I love the Thunderbirds. All the other Jerry Anderson Super Marionation things I've never really stuck with. I guess I just didn't see it, but I knew it existed, like Captain Scarlet, Stingray. There's another one, right? Isn't it like X-99 or something like that? But Thunderbirds is right is Chef's Kiss. And I told this a couple of you guys just offline that a couple of years ago I helped back this Kickstarter where these guys have went and uncovered I think it maybe three or four like reel to reels of recorded audio of Thunderbirds episodes that they never made. So they took all of their old puppets and stuff off of the studio and they made them. And I think they're on DVD now. I didn't back that because I was just like, I don't need more stuff. It's one of the first times I said that. But I have a very weird. I backed it, and I got postcards of all of the Tracy kids. and I don't know what I was gonna do with them. I think it's the Tracy Boys, Lady Penelope, and Brains. I think that's what's in the set. But when the South Park guys did Team America World Police, it's scary to me that people don't really talk about the connections between Thunderbirds and Team America. It's just like, oh, those puppets were funny, and like you're missing half of the context of this. So yes, Thunderbirds, yes. El Jamal is doing a swap. El Jamal is swapping. What are you swapping, El Jamal? El Jamal says, man, I can't keep up. You said you're swapping something for something. Okay, he says, I'm going to swap Thundercats for Thundar. Okay, all right, I feel that. And also, I just realized that Darkwing Duck was on Disney Plus, and that's going to be my new background show for a minute. All of them, all of the Scooby Doo's. Oh, Ronaldo, I like your energy. Real Ghostbusters, Gummy Bears. Gummy Bears is an underrated show. That was a good show. G.I. Joe and DuckTales. I'd watch that. I would not move. I'd watch that. Nakota says the real Ghostbusters are the raccoons. For anyone who ever watched Canadian program, I have no idea what the raccoons are. Now I'm interested. Uh, Paul Pate, what up, Paul Pate? Everybody give a big tip of the bucket to my man Paul Pate. Paul Pate says Powerpuff Girls, nice. Samurai Jack, Ed, and Eddie, and Bugs Bunny. That's the can't miss. I like that. And there's talking to chat about their favorite edition of Scooby Doo. Ronaldo also says second for Mask, Voltron, the Smurfs, and Inspector Gadget. I was waiting for somebody to say Inspector Gadget because Inspector Gadget is that's my shot. All right, before we fall off, right? Lady Penelope is amazing. I have the I had in my Amazon wish list the complete Thunderbirds DVD collection. It was like really big, and I was just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch these. But then they made like a Slimmy, like a Slim John set. It's the same stuff, but I guess they just changed the packaging. And I got that, and I still haven't watched it, but it's cool that I know it's there. But yeah, I love. Oh, so wait a minute. So these guys that made these new episodes of Thunderbirds that came out, and then they started their own studio and started making their own Super Marionation. And then COVID happened, so they did a whole series of a space adventure in their flat in London, and I think it's called Nebula 75. And you can go to their YouTube channel. I think they might be on a paywall now, but you can at least see one. It's fun. Speaking of Spider-Man, Jardy says, "I agree. Nicholas Hammond needed a cameo. Is he still alive?" And that's not a not. I just don't know. I'm going to do an ID in a second. Caitlin says, "Angry Beavers and Kablam were also good." Like, all right, I think you're out of my wheelhouse now because you're talking about straight '90s stuff, and I don't. I wasn't doing that then, but I've heard of them. And also, what was big? Cat Dog and Phineas and Ferb. That's like thousand stuff, isn't it? Felix the Cat. Like Felix the Cat is a it's a foundation, but I don't think a lot of people have seen Felix the Cat cartoon. And also, I don't think a lot of people knew that Felix was a comic strip. And I'm going to do an ID soon and we'll get out of this. But Fletch says, if I had to pick more modern cartoons, Samurai Jack, The Venture Brothers, Black Dynamite, and Futurama. Wow, that's wild. No, you're cool, Paul. Did we even? No, I like it. I mean, so the whole thing was like, if you had um, a 2 hour block of, of kids programming after school, what would you put on it? And it could be from whenever. Mask. If you watch Mask now, there's a lot of cringe in Mask. Jared D says Mask was a good show, but it really hammered home the fact that so many cartoons had single fathers with child main characters, and women just were never around in the shows. That's a thing. Steve says Jason of Star Command on a 2 hour loop. I love it. That's cool, Caitlin. You still get to roll with us. I appreciate you. Oh, 1010. Yeah, I will watch some 1010. Turbo Teen. Yeah. All right, let's try to keep it tight here. Um, before we just start blurting out cartoons. Let's stick to the assignment here. So my block, Tantan is I'm gonna if you allow me, I'm gonna do a like a throwback hour and then like maybe a sci-fi hour. Let's do our like Earth. Let's do something for like I don't know biology and saving the dolphins. Marine Boy and Captain Planet is my first hour. Then Battle of the Planets and Robotech is my second hour. I caught you off guard. I didn't do it. If I had another hour, I'd put Inspector Gadget on there and maybe. Oh, you ready? The Littles. The Littles was a great show. And you know what? Let's do a sip of coffee for Muppet Babies. Um, you can't go wrong with Muppet Babies. And there's so much stuff, right? There's so many things that we could have watched back then. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Gotcha, man. Science team. I love it. Thank you. I have Don Cheadle reprise his role as Captain Planet. Yo, what up, Ben? Good to see you, my man. Everybody, do a tip of the bucket to my man Ben Harvey. Good to see you, my man. Yeah, everybody loved Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies just missed it. I could say Animaniacs because Animaniacs was a whole mood, but you know what? We want to kind of like keep it at a like we don't want kids bouncing around all day. Um, all right, let's do an ID. You're watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN. That's right, Jamar Nicholas, Philadelphia's favorite son and your internet best friend and hairbrusher. Well, hello. What happens here? You get to hang out with me. I'm also a cartoonist. Who knew? And watch me drink this coffee out of my classic Mighty Atom 100,000 horsepower mug and run my mouth. And when I'm out of coffee, where's Trey? Did Trey check out? Is Trey not part of the army anymore? Video. Oh, it's funny, like the more engaged we get in these, the harder it is to do IDs. Yo, Art C Designs. Art C, thank you for being part of the JNN Jamar Nicholas Network. I see you at Pencil to Pencil. I see you at Coffee Break. Let's give Art C some love. Thank you so much. Tip of the bucket. What about Silverhawks? Somebody on my Facebook wall just was talking about Silverhawks, and I was like, Tally Hawk! Silverhawks was a sexy show. Like, that was like what? Late 80s? Like, it was like 85, 6, 7. It was almost too old for us to be watching cartoons. But that like next wave of cartoons that were hot, like Silverhawks, Brave Star. My man Anthony loved Marshall Bravestar. Um, Cops, remember that? where my man, the head dude was this black detective, and he had the high top fade. Cops was hot. And what else were we into? People talk about Mighty Orbots. Mighty Orbots was like early. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe trades at work. I'll give it to him. Jared D says Pinky and the Brain, Silverhawks, love Muppet Babies. Carla is from I'm from the era of after school specials. You know what? I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this, but one of my favorite after school specials, it may not even been an after school special. It was kind of like a Saturday afternoon. Why are you even watching TV? You should have been outside, but this thing came on. And we used to study the TV guide. Oh, hold on, Carla. Galaxy Rangers. Oh, so good. Jardis says, I believe Silverhawks was 87 a year after Brave Star. Yeah, it starts to get like we're in high school now, not kind of really checking for that, but low key, I'm still watching that stuff. Yeah, there you go. EJB, Jason the Wheeled Warriors, Inhumanoids, Tiger Shark, Sector. Oh, and Visionaries. Remember that? I remember the whole. It was a total toy commercial. The Visionaries were like science fiction Arthurian knights. They're like space knights, and they had like everybody kind of like the Care Bears. This was like the era of the Care Bears. All of the dudes had like a lenticular like piece of art in their chest, and like on a cartoon, like holograms and shit would jump out at people. But Visionaries was hot. Yeah, there you go. That's that part four. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The holograms in the chest. It's so good. Yo, who just ka-chunk? Suze Waringo has entered the chat. Ka-chunk. And you know when Suze is in the house, oh my god, danger. You know it's time, you guys. I would be remiss if I did not pay homage to Suze with the Suze pose. Come on, you guys. You got to do it with me. You ready? This is my favorite part. We should be doing sing along with JN. I put my hand upon your chip. I already messed it up. Then I dip, you dip, we dip. Suze pose. Wow, you thought the screen froze. What's going on? Good to see you, Suze. Fletch says Sid and Marty Krofft shows. Yes, H&R Puffin stuff. Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. And what was it? Sigmund the Sea Monster and Johnny and him were friends, or however that goes. Land of the Lost. Yo, Land of the Lost used to scare the crap out of me when I was a kid. Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. Remember the book, the Bugaloos? All of that. Oh, and this is crazy, you guys. Is that Sid Croft is on Instagram, and he has a very engaging Instagram. He posts old videos of like on set and some of the actors and like them doing takes. It's great. JRD says those sleep stacks were goofy. Yeah, but it was the intro, like with the really bad stop motion, and it was kind of like they were splicing video together, and it was like "Roar," dinosaurs. Uh, so the people go down the waterfall, and then they get washed up, and then they're like running from the dinosaur, and the dinosaur chases them into the cave, and then the dinosaur faces the camera, and like I'm just saying. So with that, you guys, let's talk about. I don't want to trigger anybody. Let's talk about childhood trauma in a nice way. Right? It was so bad. That did creep me out. It was the dinosaur. If we can Can you recall one thing when you were a kid that would scare the crap out of you? Um, and what I'm thinking about is, like, say if there was a certain commercial that would come on TV and you had to go like or run out the room or something like that. I'll start. It was the movie Magic with Roddy McDowell, and the commercial, like all the '70s movies, the trailers or commercials were super creepy. It was just a black screen, and then you see, was it Fats, right? The puppet, and it was talking, and it was like super close to the screen. It freaked me out, y'all. Anybody feel like sharing that kind of stuff? Like when you're a kid and you're like, "Yo, these effects aren't good." And that says something. It was somebody's bathtub. I love it. And I also remember, this is weird. This is like a weird latchkey kid memory. I remember being home alone, and it was Halloween. It might have been Mischief Night if any of you guys know about that. But sometimes they call it Hell Night, depending on where you live. It was the night before Halloween where kids would kind of go nuts and like burn stuff down and throw eggs at you and stuff. But I remember I was home, and you remember when you would be in the house and it doesn't really dawn on you to turn the lights on once it starts to get dark. You're just kind of in the house. And I think I fell asleep on the couch and I woke up and it was like dark in the house, but the TV was still on. And there was some sort of like Halloween parade or Halloween programming on channel, was it PHL 17, The Great Entertainer? And this like digital witch flew across the screen and it went, and it messed me up. I was like, oh no, the witch. Um, all right, let's see what we got here. Caitlin says the slime ghost from the Ghost Rider TV show had me big spooked as a kid. Big spooked. That's interesting. Nakota says the theme to the Twilight Zone triggered me straight up terror and screaming until I was a teenager. Even when I understood what was going on, it still happened. Yeah, like that. Ding. Yeah, wow. There's also a show that came on. It was like Saturday evening. I watched a lot of television, you guys. I don't like TV anymore. I'll tell people all the time, like I don't want to say I was raised in front of a television. The TV was on all day from 6 in the morning. Like, we talked about the old school sets where you had, once you lost the knob to the TV, you had your TV pliers that stayed on top of the TV. You go, the TV stayed on from morning until the test patterns came on and the airplanes flew overhead and it went off. So I watched a lot of television, and I'm kind of doesn't it doesn't stick to me anymore. But I feel you. So there was a show that came on Saturday afternoons. I think it was after like Evening Magazine with Nancy Glass. I think that was a weekday. No, it was Friday evening. That's what it was. Sorry about the dog. Um, Tales from the Dark Side, and it had some sort of like inverted, like upside down video, and it was like there was a creepy voice. Not cool. Art C says Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark scared me. I could see that, especially with like melty face. Ronaldo says those horror movies trailers always freak me out. I'd leave the room, change the channel. Pumpkinhead. Dakota says ET scared the crap out of me too, even though I'm like, that away from me. No, no bueno. Ronaldo says, yes, JN. I did that watching a Legend of Sleepy Hollow movie on PBS. I'm about halfway in at home by myself and realized it's pitch black. And I immediately turned all of the lights on. All the lights. JRD says, the monkey brain scene in Temple of Doom gross me out, but only because of my day job. I can see that. There you go, EJB. The intro and theme of Tales from the Dark Side. It's just like it was rough, man. This stuff is scary. Oh, the Crypt Keeper, like it was right on the edge of being scary to me or being interesting. That's like a real thin line, right? Funny enough, now I love the spooky TV series and Halloween specials. Do you like Gersperms? Ambergary Gersperms. Gersperms. I love it, you guys. This has been fun. I don't know how we got here. I love that we can just kind of show up on this thing and just riff. I don't have notes, you guys. I don't have cue cards. There's no teleprompter. I just brew a cup of coffee and I put it down and we just go. I do my yes, and then we just go. No net, no safety net, you guys. And I couldn't do it without you. That's right. Um oh, so we were talking about TV guides, right? So I knew there were a bunch of households that would buy the TV guide, and that was a subscription, right? Um, and what I loved about we never had a TV guide subscription, but I remember there were a lot of this is like early cartooning, brain Jamar. There'd be a lot of Jack Davis covers, and I kind of recalled his stuff from Mad Magazine. And I was always really interested in like likenesses. I'm not a likeness person. I don't draw. I don't draw like caricatures and things like that. But I always thought it was really cool. But most of the people that I knew, it was imperative that you got the Sunday paper in Philadelphia. You don't get any other papers the whole week, but you got to cop a Sunday paper because besides the funnies, besides the color section as we called it, which was either the ads and the circulars in the Sunday and the funnies, was the TV guide. I think it was called TV Week or something like that. And that's before everybody had cable or cable was even in the city. I remember for a long time, the suburbs got cable. And there was a quick moment in my life where we lived in the suburbs. I lived in Delaware County, and we had cable, like before anybody knew there was cable, and it was a box on top of the TV that had those like the push buttons. Like you push one button down and the rest went up. And you press the other one and the rest came up. And there was like maybe 40 channels on it. And I used to watch Nickelodeon on there. And I don't remember anything but Pinwheel. So that song is stuck in my head. And this might have been it had to been 1980. And then we moved back to the city. There was no more cable. And I think maybe after that, people started getting HBO subscriptions. And the HBO subscription was not it was cable, but it was just HBO. And this is going to fill in a lot of gaps in people's movie memories because the HBO box was a box on top of your TV with an off and an on. Well, it's like yo, turn HBO on. There's a movie coming on at 8. And I remember they had to like like that was epic TV watching. And there was only so many things on HBO, so you saw the same thing over and over again. I saw The Last Starfighter 1,000 times. I've seen Grease 2 a million times, and it kind of didn't matter what cat people stuff I probably should not have been watching. American Werewolf in London. I've seen that 1,000 times because that was all it was. That was the only thing. And then HBO went off. I think like there was like the movie of the night or movie of the week. And then I think after 1:30, 2 o'clock, there's no more HBO. You just turned it off. That's why when you talk to young people and ask them if they've watched the original Poltergeist, they're kind of thrown off because there's static on the TV. Like, what's wrong with the TV? Is it broken? No, the TV went off. I've talked about this before. Thank you, El Jamal. I needed a coffee check. Thank you. I love that uh, LJW and Sue's come in producer roles, and Fletch does too, just to make sure keep me honest. So let's see what's in the mug. Thank you, El Jamal. Y'all got me. I'm in my bag, yo. Hold on 1 second. Reverse Drake. You know what reverse Drake is? Started from the top, now we here because the Drake song it started from the bottom now. So for the top is reverse Drake. Mm, I've got more in here than I thought. Pause. No, that's not it. Here we go. That's where we're at. So I gotta hurry up, y'all. Let's see. Fletch says I watched the original Jaws on HBO at too early in age. Speaking of trauma, right? I had nightmares every night for 2 weeks straight, and it probably even messed you up when when summer happened, right? Oh no, it's summer. I don't want to go to the beach. It got to a point if I was in an above ground pool and someone did the da 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 heaves, I'd freak out and have to get out the water. That's real rap. Like Jaws was a phenomenon. I mean, kind of it bled, no pun intended, into pop culture. Like you remember the land shark from Saturday Night Live? Like Jaws was a thing. And we didn't even hit the topic from Monday Morning Constitution. I don't remember what I. They gotta get on the Patreon to know about that. What was I talking about, JRD? I don't even remember. Caitlin says, speaking of freaky TV as a child, one of the Animorphs episodes, that CG is so cheesy. Sticks in my brain to this day. It was the episode when the school was being taken over by alien worm things going into people's ears. Yeah, wasn't that in Star Trek 2 where they put the John in my man's ear? Yeah, that messes me up. Jared D says, I used to go through the TV guide from the Sunday paper to find out when the local channels would show old mysteries of Gojira movies. That's Godzilla for you types that don't know. Yeah, you remember the HBO box. Right, in the HBO, you would get it in the mail every month. You would get the HBO guide. I collected them for a few years before I said, why am I saving these?" I appreciate that. Eljamal says HBO is where I watched Dirty Dancing in The Color Purple a couple thousand. You saw it, you just watched it again and again and again. And I think it even ties into where we are now, where say, if you have people that you occupy your home with, and they're like, "There's nothing on there." There's 5,000 things on television. Just pick something. As I think we were trained to be okay with watching something more than once. It does not bother me. I've seen Ghostbusters a cajillion times, and I'd watch it right now if somebody put it on. Now it's kind of like I saw that. What else? What else is there? I ran through that. I saw that. I think we have more stickiness with people today. Oh no. Brad says my dad took me to see Jaws at the drive-in at age 7. Never swam right after that. Yeah. I remember going to the drive-in, and I think we saw King Kong. I don't know, it was maybe it was some sort of 70s version of King Kong. And there was a spider movie. It was kind of like Tarantula or something. I can't remember. They were like giant, like badly edited spiders crawling on the world, and it was creepy. Yeah, see, it's sort of an ear thing because of Star Trek too. Flesh says HBO was a thing. It was an event. Yeah, yo, you get the Jiffy Pop with the foil John. Got that chef in the kitchen with that very light burn smell that came with those Jiffy popcorn joints. They always burn. I'm so glad we're over Jiffy Pop aluminum foil joints. Do you remember the first movie you ever saw on HBO? Mine was The Black Hole. It's a great movie. I don't remember. It might have been Grease too. I don't remember. We saw this. There was only like 4 movies on HBO. Yeah, there's a certain level of comfort to watching reruns. There's some things that I'll just put on and Like if I'm like really heavy in kind of like a weird art deadline space, I'll put the Lord of the Rings movies on, and it's just there. It's like comfort food. Dakota says, my mom was always obsessed with horror movies, so we had killer clowns from outer space and critters. Well, repeat. What about I have I also have a thing. I don't like fast moving, tiny things that can kill you. So that kind of flavor of movies like Trilogy of Terror still messes me up to this day. Cat's Eye. Remember Cat's Eye with the little like troll dude with the knife, and the cat was trying to save Drew Barrymore from getting her life force sucked out of her nose. Child's Play falls into there. Like Chucky was like the OG little thing running around behind your couch with a knife. You've heard me do the thing where there's the meme where the lady's holding the Chucky dolls, like, say something right now or I'll throw you in the fire. And they keep remixing what Chucky says. I love that. Say something right now, damn it, or I'll throw you in the fire. We're having a lot of fun, you guys. I got to wrap this up. I got to get back to work. JRD says I saw Star Trek 2 in the theater and got popcorn with too much butter, and I got sick around the time of the year scene. And it took years before I could watch it without feeling queasy. That's so funny. Yeah, it probably was Tarantula, wasn't it? I'm not going to repeat that. This was a lot of fun, you guys. Um, Killer Clown. One of my cousins was addicted to horror movies when we were teenagers, and this was now in the era of movie rental stores. What was the Karen Black movie with the Evil Voodoo Dolls? Trilogy of Terror. That was the last kind of like, you know, part of that anthology. I forget the other. I don't even remember the other two movies from Trilogy of Terror. I just remember the last one. um, but yeah, Cat's Eye is good. You should go back and rewatch that. I think it has legs. Um, so we talked about we did some deep dive in today. Just talking about HBO like that, and then I think a little later they started having other services, and it's so weird that we're in this world where there's like 1,000. There's so many streaming services that you probably forgot that you have one. It's like, when did I get this? We have a Paramount account. When did that happen? Then Cinemax came, and like the game changed when Cinemax showed up. Then we're getting a little older, y'all, and stuff started happening. But yeah, that was the thing. Like you had, and that was before even the online guides. Like now, you don't need a TV guide anymore. I don't even think they make them anymore because you just go to press guide on your TV, and the thing just scrolls up. This is what's on. But I think there's something missing. I kind of miss being able to go through, like studying a TV guide, like the baseball cards to find. That's how I found. This is the last thing I'll say. That's how I found Robotech, and it had to have been 1980. Jared, when did Robotech come out? Was it 86, 87? And it was a Sunday morning, and it had to have been 6:30 in the morning. And it was like Robotech, science fiction cartoon about transforming airplanes or something. I was just like, and somehow I willed myself to wake up, and crawled into the living room and I turned on the TV. And I must have done this on one of the shows. And I think I played it. It was just the beginning. Harmony Gold presents, and the plane comes up off the gantry. And you see my man Rick Hunter with the highlight. And then he comes up and you see like the gleam in his eye. I was like, yo! Robotech changed my life, y'all. And I wouldn't have known it was there unless I consulted with my television guide. Yeah, it must have been 85. It was early. Night, Caitlin. We're getting out of here soon. Dakota says supposedly someone's trying to make a video game based on killer clowns from outer space. And I have no idea why, but I'm admittedly curious to see what kind of trash fire might end up as. Let us know. That's like my man Scott loves Goblin too. Nilbog milk. JRD says we never had cable, so I never had HBO. And thanks to my weird neighbors, I saw Cinemax late before I ever saw a movie on HBO. Ha ha ha. Dakota says we started to get cable in the mid to late '80s after my dad figured out how to borrow it. Elgin Moss says TV. What that is? I just have a list of stuff on my screens and I scroll until I find something that I haven't watched. That's hilarious. Well, guys, this was a lot of fun. I'm going to spend the last parts of this very fun coffee break with JN to plug my new project. Oh, what happened? Leon Extraordinary, dude. We're so close, you guys. October 4th. You know what that means? It's like a little over a month away. The world changes October 4th. Did you pre-order it yet? Like real rap. Did you pre-order it? Or are you gonna be like, oh right, I forgot. JN's got a book. Bro, I've been talking about this for years. If you were on the bus with me when we did Protector of the Playground, you knew you got the energy, you knew what was happening. It's big, y'all. Pause. This is big. I just got some really great news. It's not like earth shattering, but it's good news for the book that I can't share yet, but I'll tell you probably tomorrow or the next day. The world's watching you guys. People are like, yo, I think it's time for Leon. And you guys are watching me document this right in front of you. So if you're kind of like, oh yeah, but I gotta go pick up my Batman issues, come on. This is special, you guys. And not this is just me talking. That is me talking. But you gotta understand where this is coming from. Pre-order it now wherever books are sold. Go to Bezos. If you ain't down with Bezos, go to Target. You ain't down with that, go to your local independent bookstore and say, yo, I need that Leon Extraordinary. And they'll go, oh, here it is. Yes, there it is. There's no excuses. Cop this book. Hardcover, paperback, ebook, Kindle, whatever. I don't care. Just cop this. Because I don't want you guys to get left behind, you guys. This is huge. And you know I love you, and that's why I want you guys to stay on this roller coaster with me. Appreciate you. Yo, I'll make sure the caffeines get some swag. 40 days, yeah. Yes. Dakota says I cannot pre-order Leon any harder than I already have. That's right. Cop it. Yes. Well, here's the thing. October's going to be crazy, you guys. October 4th, Leon drops. I may have an in-store appearance. I might do something online. I might be in the world. I might show up at your neighborhood with a silver pen, just signing stuff. Then that week, the end of that week is New York Comic Con. The end of that month is Baltimore Comic Con. Yeah, I'm gonna have books. I'm gonna have Leon's on me. Yes, please, Ronaldo. Don't front. You better show up to Baltimore cosplaying Leon. I'm gonna hold you to that. And I don't know what else to say, you guys, after that. I'm really proud of the book. Kid Late wants to buy it directly from you at Baltimore Con. That's fine. It's going to be great, you guys. I'm so excited. And this is just the beginning. Remember when I told you guys years ago? And it's been years ago. JN, what do you want? What do you see in your crystal ball? I said, a Macy's Day Leon balloon. I still am holding to that. We're on the way. I can't say it any clearer than that. Manifest your destiny, y'all. Nothing's impossible. That's right, Jared D. I pre-ordered one, but buy another. Cop the CD twice. Get the album, single, CD, and tape. That's right. No, we're not doing any kind of like prefab. You mark my words, one of these days there's going to be a Thanksgiving float with Leon in it. It's real. There's no facsimiles. It's only going to be the real thing. Hey, Steven, how are you? Steven says, I'm excited for it. We'll get your signature on it at Baltimore Comic Con for sure. Bless up. Yes, sir. You want a coffee check? We're getting out of here. And I'll do that on the way out the door. But thank you guys so much. I can't do this stuff without you. Joel, come on, bro. What were you doing? Maybe I don't even want to know what you were doing. But it's good to see you, Joel. It's always fantastic. You're going to have to watch the replay. That's right. We're replacing the turkey drop on Thanksgiving for Leon. Aren't you guys? Let's go home. Suze, tell them what to do. You know it's time to go home. Say goodbyes, y'all. Good night, John boy. Thank you so much. Yes, tell them, El Jamal. Support your friends like you support celebrities that you don't know. You don't need another Gucci belt. You don't need that Prada blouse. You don't need another Coach bag. You need a Leon. That's a real rap. Thank you, sir. All right, you guys, let's get out of here. Say those goodbyes, y'all. Let's go home. You've been watching Coffee Break with JN, with your boy JN. Some call me Captain Scholastic. Others call me the Grand Poobah of indie comics. That's a real nickname. Philly Donahue, Johnny Carson, and my favorite, Jean-Luc Picard, the captain of this ship. Engage, make it so. I didn't even plug the Patreon tonight. Join my Patreon. There's other stuff going on. I have other projects. I do other video projects. I do behind the scenes, Jones. I have a behind the scenes stream called Ashy Stream. Guys, I'm going to do another Ashy Stream soon. I have another podcast project with your boy and mine, Mike Hawthorne, called It Ain't Hard to Tell. I do every Monday, a Monday morning constitutional. Is it what you think it is? It's me giving you the affirmation for the week. You can only see it there, y'all. What are you waiting for? For the price of an armpit pretzel, you can get down with the winning team. Let's go home. What happened here tonight? You got to hang out with cartoonists. That's me, Jamar Nicholas, and drink this coffee. That's that. That's your favorite, El Jamal. Good night, John boy. And now that I'm out of coffee, this is for Sue. Come on, you guys got me doing way too much tonight. We're out of time. Video over. All right, you guys. See you next week.